Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome into today's live training. This particular training is going to be for those photographers, videographers, and anyone that creates multimedia, digital media content. Okay. Today's training is very special to my heart, of course, because that is the services. Those are the services, of course, that yours truly offer to the government. So I'm going to give you guys some inside tips. Okay. The last time that I shared trainings like this specific topic about photography or anything that has to do with media, one lucky viewer took action, took notes, and actually it resulted into him landing his first $50,000 contract with his city. And so the information and the tips that I do share is very powerful. So be sure to pull up and take notes, and most importantly, take action. So welcome into today's live training. Hello to Addie, Pierre. How can I land government contracts with the school system? Yep, you can definitely do that. Hi, Brian, and thank you so much. I'm glad that you were able to attend this Friday GovCon JumpStart. It was a very, very powerful workshop. We're about 20 plus, about 25 business owners actually got certified as a federal government contractor. They got the blueprint and strategy, the capability statements done, and boom, now you're off to start implementing the strategies that you learned so you can actually jumpstart your chances to landing government contracts faster on the federal government level. So thank you so much for those who did attend that workshop. We are going to be rolling it out as well as a course in the very, very, very near future. We're working very hard behind the scenes to prepare that package for anyone that missed the opportunity to work with me live. You'll still be able to get that that information as a course. Okay, and more details to follow. So hello, Wilfred, Citywide Transportation. Hello, thank you for joining. I'm so glad I found you live. I just started following High Quality Assurance, man. Thank you so much for following. So happy, whatever day it is for you, but today's Friday for me. Happy Friday. If you're joining live, go ahead and, let me know where you're joining in from in the chat. Let me know where you're joining in from. If you are following me in the Facebook group, be sure to click on the StreamYard link so that I can see your name when you post a comment. For those who are following me on YouTube, thank you so much for joining. If you also want to become an insider member and join our secret society, go ahead and get started at govconinsider.com. It's only $20 a month for a little bit more, right? So you get a little bit more, get templates and some other things and discounts. And for those who were in the GovCon Jumpstart, who were also a member of the GovCon Insider Group, be on the lookout for your swag kit, the government contract success journey kit, where you are going to receive a hat, a journal. We have the mugs, we have your t-shirt, your pen, like the whole swag hookup package is coming out to you. And that's like a little under a $200 value that you're going to get for free just because you're taking action, you're in our community, and you have basically joined us in a GovCon Jumpstart. So I'm super excited. We're moving through the year and getting started on a very powerful upcoming year. So hello from Virginia. Okay, Quality Assurance. And hi, Prince from Tampa, Florida. Wilfred says he is interested. Awesome. So cool. So let me get to... I'll bring up my notes, you guys, so I can stay on track, because I can go, of course, and share like a whole bunch of information, because I'm always thinking about new things and new ways to, be able to bring more value to you. So, but today I want to focus on these particular 3 areas: photography, videography, and if you produce any digital media, multimedia content. That could be you build websites, that could be you do digital animations, or you do what do you call those, explainer videos, or any of those types of anything that moves to apps, even apps. Okay, so digital media. All right, so today I'm going to talk about those things, but I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can actually land contracts providing these services, government contracts, providing these services to government agencies. And of course, in knowing that government contracts, anybody can sell services to the government, any type of service virtually, and pretty much any type of service you can sell to the government. And the litmus test to know if the government buys your stuff is to ask yourself, does anybody else buy it? Like if a person buys it, then yes, you can sell it to the government. And that's just a litmus test for those who may be saying, well, what about my stuff today? Right? What about this and what about that? Of course, you can sell horse manure to the government, and that is no lie. You can definitely sell horse manure to the government because it's used in agriculture, right? So it all makes sense. So definitely, if you can sell that to the government, then guess what? Your thing that you sell, your service and the product that you sell is very important, very key, and you can actually get paid top dollars to selling that service to the government. So today I'm going to share 3 ways you can get paid as a photographer, videographer, or any type of multimedia digital media creator service. Okay. And those 3 ways are going to get you paid, right? Because of course, as a photographer, myself, some of the things that you encounter, in your career is like chasing customers. That's across board. A lot of small business owners have that issue, but trying to find gigs, like you ever had to book in this gig and that gig, and you're running all over the place and you're really busy and you're making just a little bit of money here and there, and you may look up on maybe like a $500 gig or $600 gig, but most of those gigs are like $200 and $300, which is like, but it's more time consuming than it is rewarding, right? And so I understand your pain as a photographer, even in videography, video production. In fact, another one of my clients actually landed her first video production contract, which was a 5-figure contract. I always talk about her 5-figure contract for the very first time getting a 5-figure contract, but it was only for like a 60-second video edit, and that's very powerful. And so when it comes to video production, of course, there's things that you have to think about. Even for photography, you got to think about the pre-production, then the production, pulling together if you need a crew, setting up the interviews that you need to set up, dragging all your equipment to and from, place to place, shoot locations, making sure you have the proper lighting, all of those things, right? Making sure your lenses are clean. It's a lot of work, right? That's not to even mention what happens after the shoot, because it's not over until you deliver the final product, right? Whether it's video or photo or whatever it is that you're doing, because now you have to edit and do touch-ups and do voiceovers if that's something that's required. But also like the graphics and the titling and the exporting and the uploading and compressing files and all that stuff. It's a lot of work, right? And with all that work that you have to do, Natasha, yes, I do offer a course. With all that work, and I'll share more at the end, like towards the end. If you stay with me towards the end, I'll share more about how we can work together, either in a course platform or in my live coaching program where I actually work with you. Okay, so with all that work that goes into whatever it is that you do, of course, you want to get paid top dollars, right? Yes or yes. Let me know in the chat. Especially if this is something that you can do. Maybe most of you probably know a photographer. Maybe you know someone who does video production. You know people who do these things. And maybe this will be something that you can share with them, because I'm definitely going to share some tips, some insider's tips. So I'm going to take it back to my first story about how I landed my first contract as a photographer in government contracts. So first, and I've told this story before, but going back, before, I was really, really struggling trying to get regular paying customers who needed my photography services. Okay. But also, people who can actually pay, because when it comes to photography, people just think, oh, it's just a point and click, just point and shoot. But when you're an artist, and I'm sensitive about my stuff, when you're an artist, right, it takes forethought. Like we want to know what is it that we're taking, that we're capturing, right? What do you want your imaging to message, right? What is the message of your imaging? What angles are we going to get? Who's going to be involved? There's all these things that you have to pre-think ahead of time, even before you get to the shoot. And when you get really good, of course, you can do these things on a fly, but until you're really, really, really great at it, of course, there's pre things that needs to be thought out ahead of time. Hello, Lady E from Louisiana. That is my hometown. Born, not raised, but born. My whole family is back there. So, so welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. And so anyway, you want to get paid top dollar. So I was thinking about all the different things that I can do, right? Because of course, you typically, as a media producer, you think about maybe birthday parties, these are the typical things, right? Weddings, and I've done all of them. Maybe church photos, and these are all the things that I've done. Headshots, all that stuff, right? So you really don't think about how you can actually get paid bigger dollars, bigger value, and of course, weddings are like the big ticket type of low budget type of photography type of thing, because maybe you can pull a wedding gig for like 2,000 or 1,500 or something like that, and maybe that's it. But how about landing a six-figure contract providing that, right? And then you're working maybe once or twice a month. That is more powerful. That is where basically the rubber meets the road and you begin to see your value. Okay. And so my first contract, after trying to find a way to get consistent, sustainable income, a way to get customers to see the value in what I was bringing with video production and what I was bringing with photography services, and how I can help them build out portfolios and build their websites and capture the moments and all these things. It was a struggle. And of course, during that journey, there's like inconsistent income, missed moments, several months of just nothing, chasing, but no results and no payments. And of course, that was a struggle. And so government contracting changed the game for me. And it's definitely something that can change the game for you, no matter what it is that you want to sell, no matter what it is that you are selling to the government. And I'm going to share with you exactly how. And so the first contract that I landed was, of course, you'll always hear me say it, $70,000. And guess what? 28 days of work. That's easy, right? So when you do the math on that, that's a few thousands of dollars basically on average per day. Say hi, Sir Carter. Say hi. He's teething. So he's sucking on my hand. But so thousands and thousands per day. So if you've never had a client that values you that much to pay you thousands upon thousands of dollars per day, then guess what? I'm going to share with you how to get paid multiple thousands per day by selling your services to the government. And this is exactly what I did. So beyond that, of course, those contracts for myself have gotten larger, double, triple, quadruple, and beyond that. But also the great thing is, with a 28-day work year, basically, you can have multiple contracts, right? Because when you think about all the different government agencies that exist across local, state, and federal level, of course, that one contract is one client. You consider that as one client. So now already, instead of having one client that pays you maybe $800 to come shoot a birthday party, which, $800 is kind of like on the higher end for a birthday party, unless it's someone who really has, a quality lifestyle. So instead of that, now you have one client that will pay you 70 to six figures, 70,000 to six figures to come out for that, series or a few days of events, basically. Okay, so some of the things that I've been able to sell to the government are, of course, includes headshots, of course, but you're not going to get paid $200 per headshot, right? You're going to get paid multiples of hundreds of thousands of dollars to provide headshots services to government agencies. And so headshots, I've done, what else is there? Progress, like construction photos. Some of the other things includes like events, because of course government agencies do events and community events all the time. So events. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can build websites. You can do all those things, right? You can also do just creative photos of, like, I've done things on the maritime about the rising sea level and all these other things that are going on. I've done things on like just community, just community pictures and diversity and inclusion and all those other things. So when you're thinking about being creative and how to be creative enough to actually, build your bank account, that's really at the end of the day what it's all about. Here are the three ways that you can actually get paid as a photographer, videographer, and a multimedia content creator, digital creator, when it comes to government contracts. Number one, prime contracting. What is prime contracting? Prime contracting basically is just, you are the main source that has the contract with the agency, and you're the one that's going to deliver and do all the reporting. And your business is going to be responsible for basically delivering what you were hired to deliver. So you're the prime. on that project, right? You don't work under anybody, you work under your particular business. Okay. And yes, you can also, you can be a prime contractor even as a sole proprietor. So can you do work with the government even if you are a solopreneur, you work for yourself, you don't have an LLC or a corporation or anything, but you do have like a sole proprietorship? Yes, absolutely. My first business was a sole proprietorship, and I landed that contract as a sole proprietor, providing photography services to the government. So hopefully that is helpful to you. Okay. So prime contractors, how much experience does your business need? That's a great question. Katara, absolutely none. So when you talk about experience, before I get to the second way that you can land contracts in this arena, when it comes to experience, like literally your experience can be very minimal. Your experience can be things that you've done yourself. It can be education and knowledge. It can be things that you've done with friends and family. It doesn't have to be experience with government agencies. It doesn't have to be experience with big corporations, 500 corporations. You can have, if you can point a camera, and everybody has cameras on their phones these days. If you've done that and press click before, then you have photography experience. That is your background, right? And so that's just how much experience you have to have, period, regardless of whether it's photography or anything else. That's just how you can build out your past performance or your experience by looking at, well, do you have education? Do you have background? Do you have any experience? Have you done it for a family member? Have you done it for yourself? Have you done it for your children? That is your experience. All experience is experience. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me see. Lou Grave says, I work driving for Nabisco and can't touch my phone, but I'm listening. Okay, from North Carolina, because photography is what I've been doing on the side for 15 years. So how about learning how to take your side hustle into a full-time multi-figure business, working for yourself, very part-time, right? So just last year I landed a contract. It was probably about $245,000, and it was for 70 days of work. So 70 days of work is a little over maybe like 3 months of services, basically. So just imagine multiple six figures working less than part-time. And that is how, and it's because of government contracting that allows you to be able to get paid that type of value, right? So it's the client, the client that pays you the most, right? And of course, we all know that the United States is the number one biggest purchaser, largest paying purchaser of all products and services in the world, right? So if you have the opportunity to acquire the US government as a client, especially as a micro small business, that is so huge, right? So the time is now. The time is now to get that done, right? To get that done so that you'll have, options, but you'll be able to see your business basically progress financially and put you in a position to be able to make decisions, right, about your lifestyle and everything else that's you find valuable. Okay, so that was number one as a prime contractor. Of course, prime contracting comes with responsibilities, which means that your business, of course, would have to have your general liability insurance on most for the most part. On most projects, you will have to have general liability insurance, which is a very low cost monthly or annual fee. But also you will be the one that will be doing all the invoicing. And so there's some paperwork involved, right? When you're the prime contractor. If that project is above $250,000, let's just say it's a $500,000 project or something like that, which there are, and especially there are those type of opportunities when it comes to photography services, believe it or not. The Department of Forestry, for the most part, I've seen a few different contracts come through them that are like $500,000 just to be on call, for when there's like a fire, hazard. And of course, there's fires and natural disasters that's happening, and they want photographers to come capture that history. Those are the type of contracting opportunities that are available. And of course, on the West Coast, we have fires all the time. So, but it's a national federal contract because the Department of Forestry is a federal agency. And so that means you have to be on call and be ready to fly out anywhere, which means that all of that stuff is paid. All of your expenses to travel to get there, to eat, your per diems, your hotel stay, all that stuff, your travel, your transportation to and from, whatever, all that stuff, your equipment, all of that is what you will include in your pricing, right? So that everything is paid for. And so those are the type of opportunities that are there. Let's see. So hopefully that answers the first way as a prime contractor. Of course, it's the first way to get paid. So LN Jones, hey, your videos are so informative. Definitely looking to obtain your assistance soon. Thank you so much, LN Jones. Thank you so much. I'm glad that these videos are helpful. And these are like when I come on and do these free trainings, it's really to share the information, and it's really to empower small business owners, because that is my goal. I didn't have me, back in the day when I was getting started and trying to figure out how to navigate the government contracting space. And so I thought it would be helpful, to actually create some information, right? This is information. And those who take action actually, it's happening, right? You get the results when you take action. And so, so the second way that you can actually get paid as a photographer, videographer, or multimedia digital content creator is as a subcontractor. So subcontractor is a tier underneath a prime contractor. What does that mean? Exactly that. It means you're underneath a prime contractor. Now, here's where you can actually expand upon opportunities. And here's where you can expand upon multiple opportunities simultaneously to really rapidly grow your business as a subcontractor. And I'm going to give you some examples of what that means. So basically, a subcontractor will come under a prime contractor to provide a certain specific scope of work, right? So as an example, you can actually work under a media company and provide the scope of photography services, or a specific scope could be maybe you're going to do headshots, executive headshots under that photography scope of work. And so it's less paperwork, because all you're doing is providing a quote for what you're going to charge per headshot or whatever, right? So your job is much easier. You don't have to have sometimes you don't have to have like the general liability. Sometimes you do. Even still, it's a very low minimal cost, but you don't have to do all the reporting back to the government agencies. You just do the scope of work. You invoice the prime invoices the agency, and boom, everybody gets paid. The easiest way to land a contract, especially getting started, can be as a subcontractor. That's one of the easiest and most fastest ways to get started. And that's one of the easiest ways to start getting your experience and building your past performance is by subcontracting. Another thing is you can have multiple contracts simultaneously, as well as multiple contracts on a single opportunity simultaneously. And here's what I mean. So a few years ago, there was a contract for communications, right? Of course, I don't provide communication services, but within communications falls media. It falls video production, photography, web design, graphic design. All of those things falls up under communication services, podcasts, all that stuff, right? And so, of course, I will be subcontracting under a communication agencies to provide such service. Okay, so follow me. A few years ago, there was an agency that put out a communications contract. They were going to award 5 different agencies like a $3 million contract each. So that's like $15 million that's on the table. Okay. So if they're going to award 5 different agencies, that means I have access to getting 5 different subcontracts up under the same one project. Right. So hopefully you follow me. And you're picking up what I'm putting down, because this is game. This is game that when I was doing it, like people who've been doing this for years was like, oh, you just gave me an idea. Oh, I never even knew that you can do that. And oh, wow, you're so smart. Well, I'm not smart. I just take advantage of opportunities, right? Well, I am smart. I'm brilliant, by the way. So, but it's not that I'm just smart, right? It's just that I see opportunities and I want to position myself to win, right? And so what I did was actually I submitted a subcontracting inquiry to be a sub for the 5 different firms. Really was like 20 firms that applied. I submitted my quote to all 20 firms. 5 firms were picked. So I landed a contract with all 5 firms on one single opportunity. So you may have to rewind this to really, really understand what I just said. But that was a way to land multiple contracts simultaneously as a subcontractor on a single contract. I wouldn't be able to do that as a prime contractor, but as a sub, yes, I can do that. So so hopefully that is very helpful for you. But subcontracting, like I said, is a way to, get those quick wins, right? So, and there is an actual site out there for primes who are actually looking for subcontracts right now. So if you go to the SBA website and basically just look up subcontractor, then there's a whole link that goes to prime contractors who have federal contracts that are actively looking and seeking to work with subcontractors. Prime contractor, subcontractor. Yeah. So I just want to make sure I said that right. So anyway, so beyond that, right? So there's multiple different ways. So here's the game, right? Here's a game changer when you're working as a subcontractor. Now you can expand it to other markets, because now you get to think, well, okay, so I know communication services utilizes photography, video, and media services, right? Who else? So now you get to expand into industries such as like construction, right? Because construction industries, general contractors, now you can work with them as a sub, providing photography services on workforce diversity, or documenting history, or documenting that this is the before and afters and all that stuff, right? So now you're expanded into an industry that you may have never thought of. Now you can expand it to industries like architect. I don't know, architectural design. So now you can take pictures of interior designs or architectural designs as a subcontractor on architect, contracts, or interior design contracts. And for those who actually do interior design, yeah, you can actually sell your services to government agencies, like right now. So do you not know that that is a very much needed service? And so you can actually get paid that way. Thank you for helping us make money. Thank you so much, Cassandra. Good morning, everyone. Do you offer a class for that? Yes, I do. I offer a coaching program, and I'm going to share with you in just a moment how you can actually grab a copy of that information. Do you mostly have to have a nonprofit? Wait, do you mostly have to have a nonprofit organization to qualify for all government contracts? No, absolutely. In fact, the only level of government that does business with nonprofits is your local city and county. So nonprofits do not qualify for federal government contracting, and for sometimes even with the state, you don't qualify, but sometimes with the state you do. It depends on your state, right, and what they're looking for. But on the city and local level, absolutely, yes, you can do business as a nonprofit with the government. So, but you don't have to have a nonprofit. So proprietorships, for profit. So government contracting is really for profit businesses. The reason why is because they want the for-profit businesses to make enough profits to actually create jobs and start hiring. And so as a photographer, videographer, media producer, and all that stuff myself, I went from being I'm a sole proprietor. I went from being a solo bolo person that's doing it all by myself, right? The head chief, the field photographer, the editor, the camera person, the lighting design. I went from being a one-man band, right, to now being able to create jobs. And now I have a team of about 9 or 10 people that actually works for me and with me. And so now, instead of being out in the field, I hire photographers to go out into the field. So I'm actually creating jobs and stimulating the economy and helping other people get paid. And so that is the beauty of being able to have the government as a client, because the contracts are so valuable. There's so much value that comes in the contracts. It allows you the space that you need to grow to becoming that CEO or that boss or that next employer. And so when you're a nonprofit, of course, you can't, there's some limitations. So, and the thing about, I want to speak on this just really quick before I get to the third way that you can make money as a photographer or videographer and digital media content creator. Is the thing about nonprofits, and I have a nonprofit, is you still have to make a profit. You still have to have a profitable business. So nonprofit is just kind of like one of those things that you think, oh, we have to have a poor business. No, you still have to run your organization. You have to make, have enough money coming through your programs so that you can run programs. And so nonprofit, really the benefit of having a nonprofit is so that you're tax deductible, but a nonprofit is still a business. You still have to pay yourself a salary, and that money has to come from somewhere. But the great thing is that it's tax deductible, right? Everyone that contributes to your nonprofit has a tax write-off, but also you don't have to pay taxes. So that's the difference. Lou Graves says, I need you, your kids, and your husband to come stay with my wife and I so we can really get to the money. My wife can cook. Oh, I love that. Where you stay at? Where you from? I love people that can cook. I just love good food, and I need someone to cook for me right now with the new baby and all. All right, so let me see. I was just looking at some of the notes here, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, my husband and I, we have a lot of things. North Carolina. Oh, my nephew actually is enlisted in North Carolina, Charlotte, and I think he's in Charlotte, North Carolina at the base. So he's in the military. But yeah, so I have a nephew that lives out that way. In fact, my mom, my family is going to be out there for the holidays this year. Thank you, Fantasia. This is very informative. I appreciate you for appreciating the information that I'm sharing. Let me see. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So yeah, so subcontracting. And what I was going to say about that is one of the quickest ways. But yeah, my husband and I, we have a lot of things that that we do together, of course, in business. But we're always like trying to connect with our community, trying to connect with other people to put them up on the things that we've learned. And you're learning this stuff, of course, as young adults. We're learning these things later in life. But we want to empower and impact other communities as we're learning. We're bringing people on to work with us and to build out our teams as well. Because of course we're supposed to teach one. Each one teach one. That's what it says. I didn't know where you were live. Oh yeah, yeah, Stoner Parker. Yes, I'm live. So yeah, so another thing that we're working on, we have a lot of things in the works. I'm just gonna throw out some of those things. But we have a co-op that we built out, of course, with some family members, called You Farm and Home. It's an agricultural co-op where all the members can become, of course, owners of land, and on that land, you become homeowners, but also you're building the agricultural industry. So you're going to be, of course, either the farmer or bringing on people who can farm for you so that we can get into the import exports. Because if you look around right now, all the food prices are going up. Meat is off the hook, all the things that's going on. There's a food shortage. And so there's a high demand. So if you're not involved in agriculture, of course, you're going to miss the boat. Another thing, if you, and this is just caveat side note stuff. I was thinking this morning about all the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that's being budgeted and spent right now. There's rent relief, there's business suffering relief. There's the great, what do you call it? The great resignation that's happening. There's all these trillions of dollars that's being budgeted and spent out. Social Security is going to be going away. So it looks like to me, and I'm a progressive thinker. It looks like to me all the funds that's all the dollars, the US dollars, of course, the government prints money, but they can also change currencies. It looks like they're draining all the money out of the economy because it's free everything. You get money left and right. There's money flying all over the place. And so what happens when that money goes away? People who are the corporations, people are not working, people are walking away from their jobs. And so there's like containers out on the sea that can't be delivered. The gas prices are right. So pay attention to what's going on, because something big is getting ready to happen. And if we just so happen to switch currencies, what is your backup? Like if you're doing business with the government, you automatically going to get that new currency, right? But what is your backup? And this is just like a wealth thought, right? Are you investing in priceless commodities like gold and silver? Because we're going to need that at some point. We're going to go back to the natural elements, because we don't know what's going on in the economy. But anyway, that's another thought. Let's see. Eye opener. LN says, You are really in the know. Great progressive thinker here. Thank you so much. I mean, I try to be, I try to stay ahead of what's going on. But of course, it's just little old me. Latanya, hi Latanya. You would like to know more about the co-op? Okay, so I'll share some information a little bit more later. But if you go to u-farmandhome.com, you can register. Actually, we're still building out the co-op and everything like that, but you can register, and then you'll receive some information once we have our new member orientation and everything set. But anyway, definitely want to be a part because we're shaking and moving. There's a lot of things happening. There's like millions and millions and millions of dollars that's on the table right now, and millions that's going to be poured into agriculture, and you want to be in position. So anyway, boom, boom, boom. I just gave someone some game right there. But join us in our co-op. We'd love to work with you and have you be a part of our co-op as well. So anyways, the third type of way that you can make money with photography, videography, of course, and digital media creation is consulting, right? This is the easiest thing ever, consulting. So there's a if you have a consulting firm, which means that and here's the thing. So, which means that if you have a consulting firm, whether it's videography, photography, trucking, notary, whatever type of firm you have, if it's consulting, if it's something that doesn't specifically say banking or credit services or something that ties you and puts you in a box, if it's an open name that says consulting or something that you can't really tell what industry it is, so you can actually make money with photography, videography, and all these things as a consultant, which means that you can get the contract and give it to somebody. You can get the contract and outsource the work, which means that you're the manager of the contract. Your business is responsible for managing the contract, but of course, you can actually expand your business across the state, across the United States, by hiring other photography businesses and videography businesses to actually do the work. Which means that if you're in, North Carolina, you could be in Vermont or whatever with a contract and get some Vermont basically photographer or company to do the work, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So consultant, you can be a consultant. Consultants, basically you can help other non-small business media firms or whatever get access to government contracts, and basically for a percentage say, hey, I'll give you 80% of the contract, or 60% of the contract, whatever you want to work out is up to you. It's your business, but whatever you feel that is worth, hey, I'll go get this contract for you. Just give me 40% of the contract to actually just manage it for you. Because of course, you if you get it in your business name, you want to manage the contract, they can do the work. That's free money for them. That's free work, basically free referral services that you just given them. And of course, so consulting is another strategic way to actually do business with the government. Let me see. Business support services, L Business says, yeah, example as a business support services. So so business support services is kind of general. So basically you can actually support the business with anything, with real estate. There's real estate contracts, like with anything. With insurance, there's contracts for insurance, with food services, catering, all that stuff. So you're supporting that business by providing that type of information. So what info for the co-op again? I'll share it with you in just a moment. U-farm and home.com, andhome.com, ufarmandhome.com. Relocating military families. Is that the service that you do, Bobby? Do you relocate military families? Is that a service that you do? And is there a question around that? All right, cool. So basically, if you're ready to take your business to the next level and you provide the services that I shared with you today, or you provide services in general and you want to be able to sell your service to the government, I want to invite you to apply for a free strategy call with my team at $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com. I'm going to type that in the chat. Let's see, $1,000,000,000 government. I got to sound it out. Contracts. Let's see. $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com. So if you this is something that you're interested in doing, you're ready to elevate your business and get paid top dollars, you're tired of playing with the little people and you want to get paid big dollars, there you go. Thank you so much, Stacia, for dropping that. $1 trillion-government-contracts.com is where you want to go to apply for a free strategy call. Now, the reason why you have to apply for a free strategy call is because we can't help everybody and we can't work with just anybody. So you want to apply to get your free strategy call. And if you get through the application and we feel that that you're a great fit, then we'll actually invite you to get on a call with one of my team members who can walk you through how we can work together and how we can help you elevate your business before the end of the year. By getting government contracts, we'll position you, we'll help you get in position and give you all the game, all the tools, all the everything that you need to successfully navigate, leaving nothing off the table. In fact, we over deliver because we also try to help you just basically set up for life and for generating wealth. And believe me, when I say that we over deliver, we just had a powerful coaching session this past Wednesday where I bring experts who can help you elevate your lifestyle, period. Right. So we have Kendra, the credit boss architect, who actually was she actually consults 500 Fortune firms, right? The 7-figure, multi 8-figure businesses. She's a consultant for them in building business credit, but also in other things in other areas. And so I brought her on to empower and educate our coaching clients. And so, and even beyond her, we always bring experts, other experts that can help you understand how to build wealth, how to take your business and leverage it to generate wealth. Just as I shared about priceless commodities like silver and gold, you have to invest in those things, right? But first, we're going to show you how to make the money, right? So if you're with me, go ahead and apply at $1 trillion-government-contracts.com. Apply for a free strategy session. My team is here. We're waiting and we want to help you win, right? Why not just go ahead and get started with the money that's out there? And basically, the government has already knocked on our doors. They already said, hey, I got this money for you. Do you want it? Oh, I see that you're struggling in business. Here's a huge 6-figure contract. Do you want it? Come and get it. And basically, if you're not doing business with them, you're sitting down with your arms crossed and saying no. I'd rather sit here and struggle. And that's just the way that it is in real life. So Tina Banks, thank you. Hi, Tina. GovCon JumpStart was an awesome workshop. Thank you. And you're so welcome. Yeah, so this past workshop was so amazing. And thank you so much. All of you all that showed up to the GovCon JumpStart workshop were amazing as well for even showing up for yourself. See, so we have a question here. I have a notary and funeral estate planning business. Can I get a government contract? Yes. So for notary, yes, absolutely. For estate planning, you can do that, but you have to be, because estate planning is really more so for families. So you have to be strategic. What agencies work with families that you can provide that service with? So it's not a no that you can't get it. Yes, you can, but you have to be strategic and you need to have a plan, right? A plan of action. But absolutely, you can do notary contracts all day, every day as well. So everything that you can do and you sell, if you can sell it to a person, you can sell it to the government. You just have to understand your marketing proposition and be strategic. So you have to understand who's buying those services within the government. And I show you exactly how to do that research so you understand who to target and how to target your services, specific agencies for services like that. And you're welcome. So that is it for today. I just wanted to share with you all the 3 ways that you can land contracts as a photographer, videographer, and digital media, multimedia creator, but also those same 3 steps, those same 3 ways as a prime contractor, subcontractor, and a consultant can carry on to any type of business. So you can actually land contracts no matter what type of business that you have in those 3 fashions. So we look forward to getting on the phone with some of you guys at $1 trillion-government-contracts.com for those who will be submitting your application to work with us or to figure out how we can help you build your business. And that's it. It looks like there's one more question. Wait, nope. This is a great question, so I'm going to bring it up. L.N. Jones. Can you work for the federal government and have a business awarded with a government contract? Absolutely no. So you can't, unfortunately, you cannot work for the federal government and be awarded federal government contracts because it's what's called a conflict of interest. So you will have to wait until you resign actually to do that. However, you can work for the federal government and land city contracts. You just don't want the city contracts to have any federal dollars attached to it. So there's ways around that. And we can talk more offline. But anyway, go to $1,000,000governmentcontracts.com to apply for a free strategy session to speak with my team. And until then, I'll check you all next time. Have a great one.